What's going on, friends? Today we're making a double chocolate skillet cookie topped with some cookies and cream ice cream. If you are looking for something sweet, chocolatey, rich, and decadent, look no further. This is going to be what you need. So we start by taking our flour. As always, the flour is pre-sifted, and mixing in our cocoa powder, baking powder, and salt. I prefer to do it with a manual whisk rather than with an electric whisk first, just because I find that it makes the kitchen less messy. So once you have that all mixed up, you can take your melted butter and brown sugar and get those nice and creamed together. Now, I really prefer using a dark brown sugar as opposed to a light brown sugar. I just think that it makes it a little bit sweeter and gives it a little bit more of a robust taste. Once you have all those creamed together, go ahead and add in your eggs. Now, typically the eggs should be at room temperature. However, I have found that if you're using an electric mixer, it kind of heats up the eggs a little bit if they're not super cold, so that's okay if they're not exactly room temperature. Go in with your vanilla, and then once again, give those a good whisk, and be careful not to splatter. I almost splattered this all over the kitchen just because I wasn't paying attention when I went in to mix it. And then you can mix your dry ingredients together with your wet ingredients. Again, like I said earlier, I like to do this first with the hand whisk and then go in with the electric mixer just to get out those bumps. And it's just because it makes it a lot less messy. This recipe is actually good if you saw how big the skillet cookie was in the beginning. This recipe is actually good for probably about 3 or 4 of those. So you are gonna have a lot of mix. You can cut the recipe down in half if you don't need as many, or you can even put the dough in the fridge or the freezer, save it to bake another day. Just that way you don't have to remake it if you're having one of those chocolatey sweet cravings again. Now, once you have all the bumps and lumps mixed out of your dough, you can go in with your chocolate chips. I was using semi-sweet chocolate chips here, and then this bakes at 350 for about 30 minutes. So I would check it starting at 30 minutes, and then maybe you can go up to 40. It really just depends on how soft or how loose you like your cookie dough to be, but I typically bake it at about 30 to 35. I don't really think that it needs much more than 40. Now, put those in your baking tins. I always like to make sure that I spray the baking tins beforehand, just because it makes it a little bit easier to handle. If you are serving them out of the skillet, that's not a problem either, just because you're going to be eating them directly from the center. And then you can top this with your cookies and cream ice cream. Sometimes if I'm feeling extra fun, I'll even make a cookies and cream whipped cream. If you try this recipe, let me know what you think. I can't even talk to you guys. It's so good. I'm just gonna eat it.